someone tried to take out Trump again. And normally in these situations, we would say the information isn't adding up, and that's strange. But it's more strange that all the information is actually adding up, and the mainstream media is saying absolutely nothing about it. So Donald Trump, who should basically be Tiger Woods with his driver at this point, as much as he be out golfing, was out getting another 18 holes in, and this guy, Ryan Ruth, was peeking out from the bushes with an AK-47. Fortunately for Trump, he was taken out by Secret Service before he ever got a shot off. It's times like this where you're like, damn, if only we could have known. We could have prevented him from even getting that close. Yeah, except we could have known, and probably didn't know, because he's been in the eye of the federal government for at least a decade after getting caught with a weapon of mass destruction in 2002. But don't fret, everybody, because that gruesome, cruel sentence of probation that they gave him assuredly helped him learn his lesson. Now, maybe if his name was Saddam and he was living in, I don't know, Iraq, the federal government, the Justice Department would have taken this a little bit more seriously. And some people are even gonna call us crazy for thinking that this is something we should need to bring up. But this man literally had more weapons of mass destruction than Saddam Hussein. Saddam got invaded and killed. This man got probation. Lord, baby Jesus. Normally in these situations, you would expect that a felon who got caught with weapons of mass destruction would be a little bit more closely observed. But instead, this man was actually unhinged and directly tied to the Ukrainian government, making appearances, attempting to recruit mercenaries to fight in the war in Ukraine. This isn't some random guy from a high school. This is somebody who actually has worked and has connections for the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense and has been to Ukraine to help organize and recruit volunteers on behalf of their government. Now, might I just say how weird it is that most felons in the US can't even drive without being bothered by cops for something that they've done in the very distant past. But this man can fly across the world and recruit people on behalf of a foreign government without any problems whatsoever. So you're telling me yet another shooter that has some interest directly or indirectly involved with Ukraine tried to take Trump out again? And that's not suspicious to y'all? You have to remember, Trump's stance on Ukraine is pretty clear. He wants nothing to do with the situation anymore. He also doesn't like NATO. NATO knows this to such a degree that they put in place strategic policies and personnel to quote unquote Trump-proof aid from the United States to Ukraine. And I, like yourselves, being curious and wanting to go down this rabbit hole, decided, let me go check my man's Twitter account out. Yeah, it turns out that X, after the assassination attempt, decided to suspend Ryan's account. Now, I might not be an expert on investigations or nothing like that, but ain't y'all a little late? The only thing that this could help serve is to hide vital information that may or may not have appeared on his account from the public eye. Like I said, it's not strange because nothing's adding up. The problem is that everything is adding up, and the sum seems to be that the government may be involved in some way, form, or fashion. So between two assassination attempts and all this information readily available for the mainstream media to publish, but yet they continue to refuse to publish it, and Elon deciding to block this man's account so that we don't have access and can't actually do our due diligence as journalists, and that somebody in Ukraine might be pulling some strings here in the United States to make sure they don't have to deal with the consequences potentially of a Donald Trump presidency. Now, I don't know about for y'all, but that math is mathing way too much for my taste.